Have you ever wondered why some coaches are charging $49 per month for their offers? And you've got some coaches over here who are charging 10K. What if I told you that your pricing isn't so much about affordability, but it's more about strategy? In this very short video, I'm going to break down the difference between high ticket and low ticket and why I believe high ticket is the route to real money, but low ticket can actually be the bridge to get you there. This comes from a question I got in my DMs today around a gentleman who's thinking about going into the low ticket space. And when I first started, I truly believed that high ticket was the only way to go there. And if you didn't have a high ticket offer, you just couldn't work with people. However, my belief is very different now. And what I teach inside of the Freedom Creator Academy is actually leveraging a high ticket offers, scalable high ticket communities, but also using low ticket offers to actually bridge that gap. So it isn't a case of one works and one doesn't, because the reality is every single thing works. It's a case of what is going to work best for you. Because most people think that it's lower prices, more sales. When the reality is that's not actually true, right? High ticket sales follow what we call a power law. And a power law is that there's going to be 1 to 3% of your audience who will pay premium prices for true transformation. About 4 to 10% who would invest a significant amount if you can provide them very good value. But the rest of your audience actually need educated on the problems, the solutions, and why they actually need that long-term transformation before they're ever going to invest. So this is why having both things in your audience is to your advantage, instead of only having, let's say you have low ticket, when there's a proportion of your clients who will pay you 20, 30, 50 times more than what you have. But if you only have high ticket, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because the people who are actually would buy, you don't give them ways to build trust, to build trust, education on what you do, and actually illuminate the problems for them to help them move through the journey of really uncovering what their actual problems are. So it really is a combination of both. What I teach is two systems for this. The first one's a proximity offer, and I use a triangle because it's the strongest shape in the world, but we have it as one offer and it's tiered access. You've got your one-on-one in the top, and then you've got your group in the bottom. It's one offer, one deliverables, but with 2 tiers of access. Those tiers can be anywhere from kind of double of like $100 a week to $200 a week, or it could be anything from $100 a week to $500 a week. So it can be a 1 to 5x difference in the tiers that you have, but ultimately it gives you the flexibility to not only have your super high ticket or your high ticket close proximity, but also a group in the same one, so you can maximize your profits. And then with the low ticket aspect, doing workshops, products, bringing out parts of your offer into your audience to give people that first step to you and trust you, to buy into you and buy into your world. So that's kind of how I see the offer system, but almost from a sales perspective as well, because let's say for you, for example, right, and you had a 5K offer. The level of trust that needs for someone to invest into you is massive. So with what I call the low friction sales system, is rather than making someone leap 10 steps, bridging that gap step by step, giving people an offer ladder or a low friction journey of small yeses and easy yeses, where it might be content, your free offers, into a kind of lower ticket offer, whether it's going to be a one-off product or a lower ticket subscription. I don't like the subscription model because of the types of caliber people it generally attracts, because low paying clients equals higher churn, and higher churn is more customer service, less commitment, lower quality. But with people that were going to pay higher ticket, they're more invested and they're more bought in, and then your client results get better. Your delivery is simpler versus kind of the low ticket offers. So that's kind of how I see it. And I hope this helps. So just to recap, high ticket versus low ticket, I firmly believe high ticket is where you start from, because you get faster feedback, you get to work with people more, its cash flows better. And as you build your audience and reinvest that money to build an audience so that you can use that to go more mass market, that's what I see works. And that's what kind of I see most people in most cases would go for. And the last thing to kind of talk about is kind of this inverse follower effect. So if you did have a large audience, then you could argue that going low ticket is the better route because you have access to more people versus if you have a smaller audience, you're better off working in closer proximity with people, higher ticket, get more people to pay you more upfront, and then use that to reinvest into growing your audience. So I hope that helps. If you are someone who's watching this and you would love to kind of brainstorm on this and talk about your offer, talking about kind of how you're generating leads and generating demand and how you can optimize your sales, below this video will be an option to book in a one-on-one free scale session. On that scale session, we'll basically look at what is the best way for you to scale, what offers are going to be the best things for you, how are you going to generate leads and get leads into your business, and then how are you going to convert more leads. Very simple, super fun. It'll be with me personally for now. Link will be below. Thank you very much for watching. See you very soon.